Guys, it's Sarah, and I am here with my first layout using the March kit from Not Just for Boys. And I'm going to be using this really large die cut that says Handsome. And I have pulled some scrap papers from my stash to back the letters of that. I didn't want to cut into all the papers for this kit just yet because I don't know which ones I want to use for the rest of my layouts. So I didn't, want to cut into all of them, and then I didn't have anything to use as backgrounds. So I took advantage of the open cup there and went into my stash and pulled out a few blues and greens and I think one yellow, which are the colors that are going to be going on this layout here. And I just pulled some scraps that I can back the back of those letters with. So I will show you that process in just a second here, but I am gonna go ahead and get some of my layers down first. So I'm using that kind of a distressed bark background, and I cut it down to 8.5 by 11 because this is a picture of our dog Riley, and his album is going to be 8.5 by 11. This is actually the first page I've made for it so far. We got him in November. We adopted him. And so I'll talk about that in just a second, but it is going to be a smaller than a 12 by 12. All right, so I'm going to speed this up to times 20 because this took me half an hour to do. And you don't want to sit there and watch the whole thing. But basically, I am taking a piece of paper, a piece of scrap, and I'm tracing around the letter that I want to back it with, and then I am gluing around the outside of the letter and putting it down. Sometimes I had to go from behind of whatever pattern I was going to use if it's double-sided, and it was a little bit of a process. I just haven't done this in so long that I kind of almost not forgot how to do it, but I had to keep checking myself to make sure I was doing it correctly. And a couple times I had to redo something like here because I was like, nope, that's going to be backwards. So it was definitely a process, but I really love the way that it turned out. It's a nice, big, bold title, and I love having different pattern papers behind it. And it's a great way to use up some scraps too. I don't think I used anything up completely with this one. Maybe the yellow piece of paper because it was a smaller piece, but I did cut into a few things, so it was nice to get that, get some of these papers used up here. So, and I'm going to use this yellow one here. Yeah, I think this yellow one I'm able to throw away the scraps for this one because I just used pretty much all of it. So, and then last one is this E here, and then get that down, and then that's all completely done. So took me a lot longer than you just watched, believe me. But it was good. I really like the way that this one turned out. And that is going to be my big bold title, and then I have Riley's picture up there that I cut down to a 4x4. And then I backed it with a piece of yellow paper and then the diagonal stripe. And then the opposite side of that diagonal stripe is this blue polka dot. And I really liked the way that it looked when I turned it over after I cut off the excess. So I just kept that strip there. It was kind of a happy accident on that one. And then that gives me a place to put my journaling. I do have this little cut here that says extremely handsome. That is from a cut apart sheet that I had cut something else off of previously, and I kept that handy because I knew I was going to do a layout like this for him. So I thought I would keep it, and then it just happens to be yellow. So turns out to be perfect. I'm just cutting it down so that it fits nicely up above his picture there. So Riley is a rescue dog. We adopted him in November. We were just really starting to feel like we were missing a dog in the house again. So we felt like we were starting to get ready to, bring another dog home. And we decided one day just to go up to the shelter and see who was there and see if we clicked with anyone. And it was immediate with him. We saw him in the kennel, and then we met him, and he just came right up to us and heads in our lap, and just it was wonderful. And he's been perfect, like really truly. He's a fantastic dog. He's 2 years old, and they say he's like a lab retriever mix, so he is really awesome. Okay, so for my journaling here, I'm using that really large wooden heart. And so since I'm using that out of the packaging, I don't need the package anymore. So I'm using the back of the packaging here, and I'm journaling on a couple of those labels. Those are on the back side of the packaging. And then I'm going to cut these down, and then I'm going to show you a little trick to get the little notches out of the corners, because those are a little bit tricky. You can use your scissors and do that. I kind of hate doing that because I almost always mess it up or they bend a little bit when you run your scissors over them. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick here in just a second on how I get the little notches out of the ends of those labels there. So what I use is a hole punch. Just take a hole punch, whatever size you have, and just line it up so that the very edge of the circle goes along the edge of the corners there, and you'll see the corners more up close in the close-up pictures I have coming up at the end of the video. But you just line up the outside of the circle with the curve of the labels, and then just punch it out, and it's perfect. So it works really well. A little easier than my scissors. I almost always, they don't look even, and it's just a mess for me. So a little trick for you there. All right, so I put the heart down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my journaling labels down as well. And I'm going to use a couple of these really large yellow, I guess I could call them enamel dots, but they're more acrylic, I guess. They're really large. And I'm going to use these in place of empty spots in the letters. So right in the middle of the A and the D and the O as well. And then I'm going to pull out a couple of die cuts here from this Project Life die cut pack. I'm going to use a couple of the transparency ones. I'm just looking through it, and I realize I just need to open it and see what I think I can make work. There's a really large leaf that is kind of calling my name, so I'm definitely going to use that one. So I pull that out. I'm going to put that up here. I just want to fill in a little bit of the space, and then I see a nice little red flower with some leaves on it too, so I'm going to use that as well. I'm going to run those through my little tiny Xyron machine here and make them a sticker so that they stick really good and you don't see the adhesive through them. And then I'm going to use a bone folder and just press it down a little bit to get the adhesive to really stick. And then I'm going to put this right here. It's going to overlap the journaling label a little bit. And then this red flower is going to go over here, right in the corner of the picture. And then I'm going to use some sequins as well. So I'm going to pour this out because I haven't really looked through it yet, but I really like the large white ones. And then there's some really nice smaller blue ones as well. And it just really goes nicely with the pictures, or with the colors, sorry, that I have going on in this layout. So I'm going to use a large white one and a smaller blue one in 3 different areas of the layout here. And I put those down using glue dots. That's just really the best thing that I have found that really helps them stay, and you don't have to wait for glue to dry or anything. So glue dots are a great way to put down sequins. Okay, so I'm going to put all these back here. And then that is going to complete my layout. So nice and easy, really quick, 8.5 by 11 layout for Riley's album. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, the March kit is sold out right now, but please go ahead and check their website for other things in their shop and see if there's anything that catches your eye. And I will see you again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.